Welcome to Season 2 of the Nerd Review. This is the show where we talk about movies, TV shows, video games, books, and comic books. Today we are doing our first trailer breakdown for the new TMNT Mutant Mayhem. I am super excited for this movie. If you're familiar with this show, I am a huge TMNT fan. I grew up with the Ninja Turtles on the Fox box, the 2003 series. I had the video games, I had the action figures, I had the t-shirts, the bed sheets, I had everything TMNT. So I'm a huge fan. I loved the live action movies. I love the animated series, old and new. I love the video games. I have most of them. So I am super excited. I'm currently reading the IDW comics, and even in the thick of those comics, hundreds of issues. It's hundreds of issues long, and I'm on probably like issue 45 or something. The story is ramping up. It's amazing, and there are still characters that I haven't even seen. I've read most of the original comics. I've read some of the more younger audience comics from Nickelodeon, and the IDW ones a bit more mature, but there are still characters that are being name dropped in this movie, and I'm just like, who is that? And I have to do some Googling. And then there are some characters that I'm super excited to see in this movie. Mondo Gecko, he's being voiced by Paul Rudd. We just got the voice cast. The whole roster dropped recently, and that's a great voice cast. You know, we got Seth Rogen is in there. He's the one helming this. He's one of the executive producers, I believe. He's doing the voice of Bebop. We got Paul Rudd as Mondo Gecko. Jackie Chan as Master Splinter. We got so many amazing actors. Ice Cube, Maya Rudolph, John Cena. I'm actually watching What We Do in the Shadows right now, and I'm looking at the IMDb page, and one of the characters that I'm actually speaking about, the ones that I'm not familiar with, character named Wingnut, is being voiced by Natasha Dimitriou. She plays Nadja on What We Do in the Shadows show I literally just started watching a few weeks ago, and now I'm even more excited for this movie. So let's stop talking about it and let's jump into the trailer breakdown. So we're going to look at everything. We're going to slow it down a bit. We're going to look for Easter eggs, references, all those cool things. So let's jump into that now. So I've slowed the playback here. It's about 80%. So we get the Paramount Nickelodeon movies. We get this beautifully drawn New York City. I really love the artwork, the style that's been chosen here from Permanent Teenager Seth Rogen. I love it. Beautifully drawn New York City. The composition is really great. A new generation of heroes. I'm so excited. Get that NYC cab will rise. Oh, this is part of the last sentence. New generation will rise straight from the sewer. That's what I'm talking about, guys. NYC sewer. Then here they come all out of the sewer, yeah. And see, so I'm going to freeze frame it here. This is the first thing that I notice right away when we see Raph in this very first frame. He's wearing the full head mask. It goes right over his head. If you're familiar with TMNT, if you're a TMNT fan, you know that this is OG TMNT from the original comic books. They weren't even colorized, so if you're not familiar with it, and if you are, you know this. If you're not familiar, they weren't colorized, the comic books. They were black and white. This is part of what made them hugely popular in their original run. And so we didn't have to they didn't have to colorize the turtles at the beginning, so they all just wore face masks, and they were named, and they had the R, you know, he has his little emblem on his belt which designates, you know, he's Raphael. This is the version of him, and so I love this. It's a throwback to the original artwork, the original turtles, and we get to see some originalness here, and everything else I just love about it. You see like the swish marks through the air. Behind the sword, there's like a trailing effect. The artwork and the animation is just beautiful. I'm really enjoying this. So let's keep going here. So I love the camera phone. They're filming themselves having some fun on a rooftop. They're playing with their weapons. They're practicing. We cut that watermelon in half. We get to see Donnie here looking amazing. Got Leo in the background. I love this face here. So I'm gonna freeze frame it on the faces. I love it. I love the design. You know, like Raph is missing a tooth. Donnie's got these glasses on. Mikey has braces, which I've seen online. People are questioning, like, has he gone to the dentist? And like, no, obviously he hasn't gone to the dentist. Donnie is doing it for him. Like, clearly he's manufactured some sort of nanotech or whatever. He just read the manual on how to become a dentist and just did that for him. I love I love this design. Honestly, I'm loving everything about it. The emphasis on the mask, the little swirls on Michelangelo's mask, the phone that Donnie's holding, you got stickers all over it. I'm a huge vinyl fan, not vinyl records, I mean, I'm a fan of vinyl records. I don't have any, but I'm a fan of them. But vinyl stickers, high quality like gloss vinyl stickers, I have them all over my laptop, all over my notebooks. So this is something that I would definitely do. Definitely would have done when I was younger, and I still do to this day. Really cool. Let's continue. So they're recording themselves having fun up on the roof. They decided to, redo it with a ninja star instead of the sword. And the comedy is really on point. Michelangelo, like, why did we pick something exactly shaped like my head? He's gonna get it. You're distracting me. Donnie's quip about, and he's gonna die. I love the phone. You just see Leo in the background brooding, arms crossed. Amazing animation. The ninja star goes off the roof. You see the giant hole in the watermelon here, and they're gonna run over to the roof. And I love this shot of all four turtles next to each other. If we freeze frame it here, you get a good idea of their heights. You can see that Michelangelo is the shortest, and then Donnie comes in between both Leo and Raph. You can also see that Raph is a bit more stocky. He's a bit, he's got wider shoulders, and his shell is a bit more rounded around his shoulders compared to like any of the other three, except Michelangelo. His shell does come up past his neck more, but he's not, like I said, he's not as tall. And I like that you can see a disparity, differences in their physical physiques, not just their costumes and stuff. And it's also cool. You see as we go on in the trailer, you'll see they have different pouches and stuff. It's not just their belts. And I like the elbow pads and the wrist pads. They've kept that in this design. I'm loving everything, honestly. The designs are just so amazing. So let's continue from here. Let's continue watching the trailer. So this next part I slowed down to like 55% so that I could capture it. And if we freeze it here on Donnie's bow staff, you can see that there's more vinyl stickers, and I love the design above his hand where he's holding it. There's a few different stickers you can see, and I love this. Like I said, it was what I was saying before about the vinyl stickers on his phone, that they've continued this design element. This is something that I do. I've done it when I was younger, and I still do it to this day. So if we continue here in the trailer, we get more from the weapons. It continues past Donatello. We go to Leonardo. Then if we freeze frame it again, I had to slow this down quite a bit to see this, and there are more than a few stickers on Michelangelo's nunchucks. And if you freeze frame it here in between, you even got kind of this like doubling effect, so it looks like there's three pieces of his nunchucks, but it's actually just two pieces. And there's like some sort of lizard creature, kind of reminds me of the dinosaur from Rugrats, but I'm not sure if that's what they're going for here, but that's what it looks like. And then on the other side of his nunchucks, there's a looks like a piece of pizza sticker. There's like a little piece of sticker right here. If we pause it, I think I paused it too far, but if you check out the video, you'll see here, this is definitely a pizza sticker. It was hard to capture it on the freeze frame, but there's other frames of it where it does look like there's a piece of pizza sticker on his nunchuck, which I find very funny. It's Michelangelo. He loves pizza. I mean, it's the TMNT. They all love pizza. We all love pizza. Let's move on into the trailer now. So from what I can see, Raph doesn't have any stickers on his size. Then we get this amazing scene of Splinter. So if we freeze frame it here on Splinter, I love the design. It's a bit 80s. His little dojo outfit, the purple sweater he's wearing. I love the hairstyle. This like puffy mullet thing. It reminds me of the stepmom from Terminator 2. Really random reference here. I don't know why that's what it reminds me of, but for some reason that's the hairstyle that I'm thinking. And I guess it's inspired by the 80s. It's not the 80s, judging by the fact that they have smartphones and the technology that they're using. But I assume that that's when Splinter grew up. And I'm curious what the backstory is going to be on Splinter, because depending on which series you're looking at or which comic books you're reading, there can be quite a difference on the background. So I'm very interested to see what kind of iteration of Splinter we're getting here. And let's push forward now. So we continue through this weapons demo, and they're all very gung-ho. They're running through the different scenes, and we get a glimpse of some foes here at the end. I love the Shrek joke. And then all of a sudden we get Bebop and Rocksteady. So if we freeze it here on this amazing shot of Bebop and Rocksteady, two of the most amazing characters characters in TMNT that everybody always wants to see. I mean, this goes back to TMNT 2, the second live action movie, and the huge disappointment that was Tokan Rezar, which was just this huge studio like craziness that was happening, that they wanted the merchandising rights to some of the action figures, so the studio decided to create characters for the movie so that all the action figure revenue would go to them, and that's why ultimately we don't get Bebop and Rocksteady in the live action TMNT 2, the sequel to the TMNT 1 movie that came out in the 90s. And so since then everybody's basically always just waiting to see Bebop and Rocksteady, and they were in the live action movies, but I mean I enjoyed them in the live action movie, the one that Out of Shadows in 2016, but I know that a lot of people didn't. The animation was a bit wonky, or the CGI I should say was a bit wonky, but this is like this is just beautiful. I love the open pant, his pants aren't zipped up, he's got the bandolier of bullets. They both got bandoliers on, but like one of them is just all bullets. The armor they're wearing, they're both just they're just big chunguses, they're huge, they're bamps. The big boom box, I love the design, and they also look a bit more mature than the turtles. This is also something I've read in the comments and all the theories online, that this version of Bebop and Rocksteady are a bit older, and like they're more mature mutants, and maybe they've been doing this, they've been mutants for a while longer. Again, is it kind of like what I was saying about Splinter? I'm interested to see, or if we find out right away, what their backstories are. If you're not familiar with the series, Bebop and Rocksteady start off as human, and it's the ooze, the mutagen, that turns them into mutants. And so I'm interested in like how long ago did that happen? How long have they been mutants? And then something that people have mentioned is like the turtles. They get their footing, they go off, they face off against some of the purple dragons, the gang members, the street foe, and then all of a sudden, kind of like in this trailer here that we're getting, all of a sudden in walk Bebop and Rocksteady, just armed to the teeth. And they're also facing off against mutants now. Then also finding out that there are mutants in the world that aren't just them and Master Splinter. So it's this whole, expanding worlds and worlds colliding, and there's so much anticipation and excitement here that August 4th cannot get here soon enough. So let's push on and finish this trailer and this trailer breakdown here. So let's see what comes next. And they're just looking amazing here. You get this glimpse of April, and I had to slow this part down like 60% to get a glimpse of this, because it goes by maybe 2 seconds, not even 2 seconds. It's a blink of an eye. This went by so fast. I had to slow down the playback to almost like 20% so I could get a freeze frame of this. And it's baby Donnie. You can tell because he has the glasses on and he's using his bow staff, and it's adorable. He has the one little tooth. His feet are going out by the sides. Honestly, I love the animation here. I hope we get some sort of flashback or something that shows them as babies. That's typically common in a TMNT movie. Even in the live action one, we got these little baby turtle animatronics that always looked a bit wonky, but the animation on this is just amazing, and I can't wait for more. And we get another turtle in this sequence, but even when playing it, you can't really tell. Like I've looked at it a bunch of times, and if you freeze frame on it, it's hard to really tell. Like you can't really. I looked, like at some points there's little like flashes of light, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's Raph. Like the light is flashing red, and at one point his pupil looks blue, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's Leo. And then at that point I kind of had to sit back and like, okay, maybe I'm reading too much into this teaser trailer now, and like let's just enjoy the trailer and find out when the movie drops. Maybe you'll see more turtles in that flashback using their signature weapons, and you can use your powers of deduction to figure out which baby is which. So the trailer continues from there. We get some nice action shots, and then there's this scene in the garage which is just absolutely hilarious. I love the style of comedy they're going for. Everyone's reaction to the Psy and Donnie's leg is just pure gold. And then we get some nice intro shot. We get this title scene, TMNT Mutant Mayhem, and then we get this shot here. If we freeze on the top of this building, it says the Laird with like the I as number 1. I love this reference. It's a reference to Peter Laird, one of the writers and the original creators of TMNT. I scoured this entire trailer to see any reference for Eastman or Kevin Eastman, and surprisingly I didn't see anything. They're both listed as being writers for the movie, and which is interesting and confusing at the same time, because I do recall reading an interview that Kevin Eastman did with one of the outlets, and he said that he wasn't involved at all with the Seth Rogen project. And I mean, I guess this changed at one point because now he's being accredited as being one of the writers for the movie. So it's interesting how these things develop. So the shot pushes in a bit here, and we get an actual view of April and the group. And I'm going to freeze frame it here again. I love the lineup here. You can see that they're all younger, and from what I've always inferred, people are always questioning, their ages and how old is April and how much older is she than the Turtles. Something that I've always used as kind of a guide is that they appear to be the same age in different iterations. In the original live action movies, in the IDW comic books, so if the Turtles are more mature, then she's more mature. She's already, a reporter, on the air. If you refer to the IDW comics, those are the ones that I'm more familiar with right now. April's in college, and that kind of reflects the age of the Turtles. They're around college age. So if we're using that as a guideline, and these Turtles seem to be a lot more adolescent, maybe around somewhere between 12 and 14, maybe pushing 15, and you use that to reference and infer that April is around the same age. Maybe she's in college, maybe she's a journalist student, maybe she's doing a podcast, shout out to us podcasters, maybe she's doing something more online. I've read that as a fan theory. I love this. I love the way she's dressed. She's very New Yorker. They've done an amazing job with the design and the reimagination of these characters, so I couldn't be more thrilled. And they're all roughly the same height. You don't have any people that are 4 feet tall. There's been some different designs of the Turtles and different iterations over the years, and sometimes there's quite a big difference between the tallest turtle and some of the human characters, but they've managed to do a good job here, in my opinion, that these characters seem to be around the same height, and I like that. So we're going to push on here, and the trailer's almost over, and the trailer ends on this group shot with April going over her notes and just kind of catching herself up that everything happened when they came in contact with the goo, and then they're like, actually we prefer ooze. It's ooze. It rolls off the tongue, and you can see Michelangelo waving his arms there in the background, and I just love it, honestly. That's the trailer for the new TMNT Mutant Mayhem movie coming out August 4th. I hope you enjoyed the trailer. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. I enjoyed breaking it down. This is the first trailer breakdown of the Nerd Review. It was a lot of fun going through every frame, punching into the frames, lowering the frame rates to really watch every scene. I will say it, I did not see the baby turtles the first 4 times I watched this trailer. If you're watching it at regular speed and you blink, you would completely miss that scene. So slowing it down and really watching it over and over again, you can see the appeal. And now I understand breakdown videos and why they're so popular, and I hope this video becomes just as popular. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you in the next episode. This has been the Nerd Review and the trailer breakdown for TMNT Mutant Mayhem.